Hey y'all, it is 75 degrees today. I'm having the best day in my garden. I'm working on cleaning up one of my nectar penta garden sections, and I've got some of the rooted pink pentas that I started and propagated, and I'm putting them in, and I'm just generally cleaning up the whole area. So thanks to that little bit of burst of cold weather, it kind of forced me into cleaning up this little garden area. I'm just trimming up all the pentas that I have, and then I'm going to fill in with some more. And I'm also going to sprinkle some seeds. We'll talk about it in a minute. So let's get to it. I'm just kind of going through and trimming off parts of the plant that were a little damaged by the frost, and just making them look nice and pretty and shaping them up a little bit. Some of them had extensions going, like see how this one's going way off over here and even out further. So I'm kind of getting them more into their own space and encouraging them to grow upward. And then as I create these little open areas, I can plant some more plants in there and just fill it in so it'll be super dense and full of flowers. So these are pink pentas, and I like using them here in the front of my garden because the butterflies do love them almost as much as the red, and yet they're lower growing so they don't block my view of the garden when we're just sitting out here. And I also have some of the white pentas planted here, and they're the same. They are much lower growing than the red. So they're good for edges and the front of a garden area. And I'm also going to plant some cosmos seeds, not zinnia seeds, in that area. And I'll tell you why I'm choosing cosmos right now in just a moment. This little planter right here came through the freezing weather, and you can see my maypop did fine, but these are little cosmos seeds that I had planted like back in a few weeks ago before all the cold weather came while it was still warm, and they came through just fine. I also have this little cosmos right here, and you can see its leaves did get injured a little, but it's doing well and it was not covered. So I think they're going to be happy here in my Florida garden, and it'll add some more pops of color in and around my pentas that I'm planting. Look, y'all, sulfur butterfly just flew into my garden. These guys survived all of that nasty cold weather. Nature is amazing. These, by the way, are my red pentas, and you can see how tall they get, which is why they're not going in the front of the garden. So for a situation like this, I am totally a seed scatterer. So I will just take a little handful of these seeds and just scatter them in the area, and then water them in with a gentle misting water and let them grow. So these are seashells, cosmos seeds, and hopefully you will get to see what they look like in a future video. So you might be wondering why am I planting flowers and seeds in December? Well, I'll tell you why. I have these cute little fluttery things called butterflies that are flying around my garden nearly all year, and they need something to eat. So yeah, there's a danger that these seeds could get damaged by a future freeze, and these pentas as well. But if I keep them low to the ground and I cover them to protect them in a freeze, they should be okay. And I need nectar in my garden all year to keep these guys coming and to give them food. Y'all want to see what I do with my little bucket of plant clippings and weeds I trimmed out? I dump them into the holes that this little one right here dug. You can see I just dumped a pile. You can see I just dumped a pile in that hole, and then it's going to fill it in with dirt, and then it can decompose and go back to providing nutrients to my garden. And look, she was just digging a new hole for me right there. There's always a hole to be filled with weeds. I mean, why send all of that out as yard waste? It came from this yard. It grew from this yard. So it may as well go back into this yard. Y'all, look what I found while I was digging around in that garden area. This is swamp milkweed. I found about 4 of these. So I'm gonna move them over to my swamp milkweed garden. Look, it's even growing back. Isn't that fabulous? The things you find in your garden. All right, so I cleared out this side and planted some cosmos seeds over here. All right, well, I cleared it all out, and the other side also, I planted some more cosmos seeds, and now all that is left to do is to sit and water it in, and we'll get a lot more nectar plants going for the butterflies.